Shoes, take him out back.
I steamed it.
What is going on, monsters? Oh, I see you got the message. Glad you could make it. I hope that portal jump wasn't as bad as that last one. And yeah, this place is kind of creepy. I hope that old creepy couple downstairs didn't give you too much trouble. But anyways, you guys made it, and that's freaking awesome. I'd like to introduce you to my new friend I met up here. Don't worry about him, monsters. He's way more bark than bite. So you might be asking what we're doing up here in the attic. Well, we're gonna summon something. I don't know what. Maybe a demon, maybe some ghosts, but it's gonna be something creepy, hopefully, because I know you guys like creepy. And speaking of creepy, I have a really creepy story to share with you tonight. Now, this story starts off with a serious car wreck. Two friends driving drunk. Well, you know, that's never a good thing. But one of the friends ends up getting a serious head injury, and now, well, he's seeing things. What's gonna happen? What is he seeing? Well, I guess we'll have to find out. So, monsters, hold on to your teddies and get ready, and let the story begin. I'm experiencing strange things ever since I was in a crash. By Discord and Dine. First off, let me tell you that I am not crazy. 2 years ago, on Halloween, I was in a car crash. Me and my best friend Steve, drunk off our heads from a Halloween party held at another college across town, had been driving down a dark country road. I can't remember for the life of me if it was me or Steve driving. But suddenly, a dark shape ran across the road, shadowy in the glow of the headlights. I don't know what it was. It might have been just a stray cat or raccoon. But Steve swerved to avoid it anyway, and in doing so, he swung too far to the right. The car, a flimsy 1994 Honda that I thought was only being held by glue, cascaded down a rocky embankment. I don't remember much about the actual crash itself. I just remember Steve screaming and watching out the window as the world tumbled and spun around us. Then, all at once, the car smashed into the trunk of a huge juniper tree. Steve's car was in bad shape, but even I thought he had noticed that his seatbelt was frayed and tearing. The force of the crash ripped Steve's seatbelt in half and he was pitched through the windshield, shattering it into 1,000 crystals of glass. I was told, mercifully, that he had been killed instantly. Since Steve usually drove his car alone, the passenger seatbelt wasn't so frayed and I stayed put in my seat as the car hit the tree. My head was pitched forward and it hit the dashboard hard, knocking me out cold. The shards from the windshield got lodged in my body, and the force of the crash had broken my leg and wrist. But what I remember most about the crash, right before I slipped into unconsciousness, was feeling an immense knowing, like I had just remembered something that I hadn't thought about in a very long time. When I awoke, 3 days later, I was in the hospital bed. I opened my eyes feebly and looked out the window to my right. I was high up in a building with the streets far below me. I realized I was in Clark County Hospital, right in the heart of the city, in the state I live in. I felt sluggish, but I was enveloped again by the sense of knowing. Before I could do anything, I heard the door to my room squeak open, and a middle-aged doctor wearing a white jacket walked in. "Hello, Mr. White," he said. "My name is Dr. Anderson, and I'm here to treat you." He stood by my bed, smiling, but all of a sudden, something happened. It was like his form flickered for a long moment. No, that's not right. It was the outside of his body that flickered. I could actually see inside him for just one moment. When I saw what I saw, I sat up in the bed and screamed. It was some kind of tall, thin creature, but it had been squashed as if it fit inside something. It had long, wicked, sharp claws for hands, and its frame was skeletal. Its gray, slimy skin stretched tight over its bones like a drum. I could actually see its unnaturally shaped heart beating in its chest. Its head was down at its chest, but its eyes were looking up. Its eyes were yellow and slitted, like a cat's. Adorning in his face was a long muzzle with sharp, slimy teeth. I thought I could see something flickering in his mouth. But just as I saw all this, he flickered again, and a smiling Dr. Anderson was where the creature had been standing a moment ago. I sat up in the bed and I screamed, almost ripping the tubes in my arms out. "Hey, Mr. Winter, please calm down. I know it must come as a shock." As he was saying this, he reached forward and patted my hand. I pushed his hand away in revulsion and stared at him in terror. Dr. Anderson looked at me, puzzled. It's not uncommon for a victim of a fainting spell to be agitated after waking up. I'll go get Mrs. Baker with your medication. As he turned to leave, he flickered again, and I saw the creature, snarling, walk towards the door. He reached the claw out for the door handle, but it flickered again, and I watched Dr. Anderson leave the room. Although my stay at the hospital, I avoided Dr. Anderson as much as possible. Whenever he would come towards me in the hall, during my rehabilitation exercises, smiling, he would flicker, and the scowling creature would appear just a moment before it flickered back to him. 3 weeks later, I got out of the hospital and I was walking, hobbling with my crutch, to my car when I turned to look at the crowd of people waiting for the bus. And suddenly, everything flickered again, and I saw, to my horror, 8 or 9 creatures like Dr. Anderson standing among all the normal people. I didn't know which was more terrifying, the creature or the fact that none of the ordinary people seemed to notice them. But, suddenly, everything flickered again and none of the creatures were present. At first, I thought I could be crazy, but after I saw at a bar around Christmas, I was convinced I wasn't. I had gone to the bar to get a drink, and to clear my head, after I had been seeing the creature everywhere. After downing 5 or 6 beers, I really had to piss. I went to the bar's bathroom and I went into the stall, because I didn't feel safe in public anymore. Right as I had finished and I was about to open the stall door, I heard the bathroom door creak open. Me looking through the crack, I saw a tall man enter and stand by the sinks. The flickering came again, and I saw another creature. His was much taller, and with much more sharp claws and fangs than the others. I heard the door open again and saw another guy enter. Flicker again, and the creature was human again. As the new guy went into the sink to wash his hands, the tall man crossed the floor and locked the bathroom door. Suddenly, there was a loud snapping noise and the creature was back, snarling. I noticed with horror that there had been no flickering. The guy at the sink turned, saw the creature and screamed, and at this moment the creature lunged forward and grabbed the man with his huge claws. It opened its muzzle and its tongue, a worm-like thing with its own mouth. It squirmed out and pushed its way in between the screaming man's lips. There was a shudder, and the captured man began to grow much taller. His skin turned a slimy gray as his skeletal frame lengthened and became sickly thin. His face was drawn out into a long muzzle with sharp teeth as his fingers grew into long, sharp claws. His eyes burned yellow and became slitted like a cat's. The first creature removed his tongue, and just as soon as it had started, the transformation was over and two identical creatures stood in the bathroom. There was another loud snap and the two men were back, as if nothing had happened. The newly transformed man smiled at the other and they both unlocked and left the bathroom, shutting the door behind them. I was so scared and that I didn't leave that stall for 20 minutes. When I finally mustered up the courage to leave, both the men were gone from the bar. Sometimes, I think back to that car crash and wonder what had caused me to be able to see these creatures. Maybe a glass shard had lodged in my brain, causing the ability, but how long had the creatures been among us? Had our brains evolved to simply not see them? Or is this a new phenomenon? Well, I honestly don't know. Or maybe I'm just insane. Maybe the crash caused some kind of brain damage and now I'm experiencing vivid hallucinations. But I saw what happened in that bar restroom with my own two eyes. The creatures, they have to be real, right? I'm seeing the creatures a lot more now. At first I only saw 10 or 11 at most every week. Now I'm seeing that number every day, and with different people each time. Homeless people begging for change, and clerks at the grocery store, just people walking down the street, and even my next door neighbor. They're all creatures under their human disguises. But tonight, I've had enough. 2 years of seeing these creatures and not doing anything about it? Well, that's about to change. As I write this, my backpack awaits me at my door, stuffed with pistols, knives, homemade pipes, bombs, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. These things need to die. And I'm going to be the one to do it. Huh? No, I don't even care if the occasional human being gets in my line of fire. I'm going all around the city tonight, gunning down and killing any creature I see. I won't stop until every last of these creatures' blood run down the street. Oh, and first stop, Clark County Hospital. Alright monsters, so we got everything in place. If somebody can hit the play button on that old cassette player and let's get this summoning music going.
I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon.
Okay, who forgot to put the salt out? Alright monsters, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Looks like we got a demon on the loose. I'm not sure who we call in this situation. Monsters, be sure to leave in the comments on who we gotta call to take care of this whatever it is. But I'll tell you what, monsters, you guys are always on time for the good stuff. And tonight, if you leave a like, within like a split second, you're gonna receive this amulet. Yeah, a freaking amulet that you hang around your neck, and this thing will teleport you anywhere, just like that. Think of the place, and poof, you're there. And maybe this is our ticket to get away from this demon and let whoever we need to call take care of it for us. Now monsters, Plus, I'm pretty sure this story is fictional. You can too read this story on Reddit's NoSleep. A link to the original story will be in the description below. And hey, if you're new, why haven't you subscribed yet? Be sure to hit that subscribe button and become a monster today. I really appreciate all you monsters in the community, and big shouts out to all of you. And like always, until next time.